I'm from the 101st Airborne Infantry, the Screaming Eagle Division. The Army-Navy Screen Magazine have asked me to sit in on a film they're making about Bastogne. I guess I'm supposed to tell you what it was like up there in Belgium during the big German winter offensive, their last offensive of this war. As small as the Bastogne pocket was, it's impossible for a guy like me to tell you the entire story. And the films we have just aren't enough. You see, the cameramen were so busy at the time, banging away with their carbines and their M1s, that they just couldn't film everything. But anyhow, let's have a look at it. Okay, let it go.
He was just a rookie trooper and he surely shook with pride. He checked all his equipment and made sure his pack was tight. He had to sit and listen to those awful engines roar. You ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. Is everybody happy? Cried the sergeant looking up. Our hero feebly answered yes, and then they stood him up. He jumped into the icy blast, his static line and hook, and he ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. He counted long, he counted loud, he waited for the shock. He felt the wind, he felt the cold, he felt the awful drop. The silk from his reserve spilled out and wrapped around his legs, and he ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. The riser swung around his neck, connectors cracked his dome. Suspension lines were tied in knots around his skinny bones. The canopy became his shroud, he hurtled to the ground, and he ain't gonna jump no more.
The 101st Airborne Division is known as the Screaming Eagles, and they were essential to the success of World War II when the Allies invaded Normandy on June 6, 1944. The mission of this unit was to drop behind German lines hours before they landed in the main beach, also securing routes and taking down enemy defenses, and preventing the Nazis from reinforcing their troops and their beaches. Even though this operation was really difficult, the 101st actions were essential in the success of D-Day. The 101st Airborne Division had many objectives to accomplish in Normandy, France. However, their main goal was to secure key causeways and reed networks all the way from Utah Beach. By doing this, they allowed troops to land on the shore to move without being blocked by the Nazi German forces. They also had the mission of capturing and getting the town of Carrington, one of the most important crossroads that connect to the Utah and Omaha beaches. Additionally, they were also ordered to destroy enemy artillery areas that could affect Allied forces landing on the beaches. The 101st Airborne operation began on June 6th of 1944 at exactly 1:30 a.m. There were more than 6,600 paratroopers assigned to flee into Normandy aboard the C-47 ski train. Everything was going according to plan until the division started to face difficulties such as poor weather conditions, cloud cover, and many Nazi anti-aircraft fire that made planes unable to land in their drop zones. That caused paratroopers to land across a wide area far from their intended objectives. Some were even dropped into flooded fields where they drowned under the weight of their own equipment. One of the most famous battles in which the 101st Airborne Division was involved was the town of St. Mary Eglise. Even though the 82nd Airborne Division was responsible for capturing the town, many soldiers and companies in the 101st helped control and secure the zone. St. Mary Eglise was the first town liberated from Nazi control on D-Day. Carrington was the place in which one of the most important battles of the Allies' invasion was fought. A town heavily defended by Nazi troops, there was an important connection between Utah and Omaha beaches. Between June 10 to June 15, the 101st Division was fighting against German Nazi forces who were trying to stop them, such as soldiers who formed part of the 6th Fallschirmjäger Regiment. The battle came to an end in the Battle of Bloody Gulch, where the 101st was able to stop a German counterattack, securing Quarantine and making sure they got a solid connection between the beachheads. During the time the 101st Airborne Division were doing their operations, the paratroopers had several challenges, such as lack of supplies, hard communication among the soldiers and the bases, and strong Nazi resistance. However, airborne ability to adapt and fighting in small and not centralized groups proved to be one of the main factors of the Allies' success. The actions of the 101st Airborne Division were really important to delay Nazis' reinforcements. It allowed US forces to move to lands and had less obstacles on troops. Their capture of specific towns and roads helped the US and the Allies create a foothold in Normandy, setting the beginnings of what would be the liberation of France. After the 101st Airborne Division's success in the European continent, they continued to play a very important role during World War II, including the liberation of Holland, Operation Market Garden, the defense of Bastion during the Battle of the Bulge, and the very important push into Germany in 1945. The 101st Airborne Division actions during World War II and the Normandy invasion left a life-lasting impact on military history and modern culture. There have been several films, documentaries, and TV series such as Band of Brothers that showed off the actions of Easy Company and their training all the way through the end of the war. The 101st ability to operate behind Nazi lines, attack and act under extreme pressure, and fight with determination set a new standard for every single other division in the United States military. Today, the 101st Airborne Division is still active and very respected. They continue to uphold the legacy of those soldiers and paratroopers that saved the world on June 6th of 1944.
Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. For days he lived and loved and love kept running through his mind. He thought about the girl back home, the one he left behind. He thought about the medicos and wondered what they'd find. And he ain't gonna jump no more. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. The ambulance was on the spot, the jeeps were running wild. The medics jumped and screamed with glee, rolled up their sleeves and smiled. For it had been a week or more since last the shoe had failed. And he ain't gonna jump no more. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. His comrades, they were hurt to say a hell of a way to die. He lay the